Hello, and welcome to the first in a series of blogs that aim to teach you how to create a complete service for Payara Server. This first blog will demonstrate the basics of creating a service. I'll do this by walking you through the creation of a service. Glassfish, and so Payara, uses the HK2 component model, which makes creating add-ons relatively easy. With that said, I'm going to stick to demonstrating a simple Hello World example service that prints out Hello World as well as some other text as the service starts and stops. Throughout this blog, I'll be using the NetBeans IDE, which auto-fills in certain parts for me, such as adding any new submodule as a module of its parent. I can't speak for if other IDEs do this, but I'll try to at least verbally highlight the parts auto-created for me to benefit those not using NetBeans. The first step in creating a service is to create a module for it. I'm going to create it as a submodule of the Payara Nucleus Modules module and name it Hello World. Once you've done that, open up the new modules POM and add the relative path to the parent POM just to make sure it knows where it is. We'll also need to specify the packaging type as glassfish-jar and give it a name to help identify it. The final part to add to this POM is its dependencies. For the example service I'm making, I'll only need two. The Glassfish HK2 core and the Glassfish API. With that sorted, it's time to write the service. The first step for this is to create a source folder for any Java classes. Do this by creating a source/main/Java folder in the module directory. My example service will consist of a single Java class, which I'll unoriginally call Hello World. For Glassfish to recognize a class as an add-on component, you need to use the @service annotation and give it a name. Since my service will need to run as the service starts, I'll also use the run level annotation. And make sure to import the packages. Each class designated as a service needs to be bound to a contract. As my example service will need to listen to the server startup and shutdown event, it will implement the event listener interface and be bound to the events contract through injection. Make sure here to import the event listener interface from the Glassfish package rather than the Java util package. As you can see, the event listener interface requires us to override the event method. So I'll fill it in with some print statements that give updates on the startup and shutdown events. You can instruct the service to perform certain actions as it is constructed and destroyed using the post construct and pre-destroy interfaces. These each define a single method, post construct, and pre-destroy that can be used to execute actions and methods after the service is initialized or just before the component is removed from the system, respectively. Both methods don't take any parameters, so the skeleton will look like this. If you prefer to use annotations, they can be used instead of the interfaces like this, though they may be less performant. For our example print statements to work as the server starts and stops, we will need to use the register method of events inside of the post construct method like this. With this in place, the service will now print goodbye when the service shuts down, starting up as it begins to start up, and Payara ready once it is finished starting up. To complete this example service, I'm just going to create a basic method that prints out hello world and have it called in the post construct method to have it run as soon as the service is initialized. To implement a service, you'll need to package it and add it to a distribution. For this sample, I'll be adding it to the Payara minimal distribution, though the steps will be very similar for adding it to any of the others. In the Nucleus Packager module, which will come up as Glassfish Nucleus Packages, create a module for our new service. I'm just going to call it Hello World Package. As with before, NetBeans will add the new module as a submodule of the Packager module, so be sure to do the same if your IDE does not also do this for you. Open up the POM of the new module. Add in the parent POM relative path. Name. Change the packaging type to distribution fragment. And add in our new service as a dependency. Finally, to add the new package to the distribution, open up the POM of the distribution you want to add it to, Payara Minimal in this example, and add the package as a dependency with a type of zip. If you're adding a service to the full or web distributions, you will instead add the package as a dependency of the appropriate feature set POM. And that should be all that's required to integrate your new service, so try building and testing it. For the example service I just made, you can do this by starting and stopping the Payara Minimal distribution and looking in the logs for the messages. And that's it for this blog. Hope you find it helpful. Next time, I'll be showing you how to create an as admin command. See you then.